Hey, Carl here. All right, so I'm on the practice green here at my local golf course. This is the chipping green. And I'm going to show you something here real quick and take you through a bit of a thought experiment. And then we're going to work on some chipping ideas, just run some things by you. So I've set up a series of golf balls. They're just range balls, but they'll do the trick. And I got one that's right there, like 5-6 inches maybe away from the hole, and then the rest are spiraling away and up a hill. And the question I have, and it's probably a very simple one for you to answer, but if you had a putt to win a match, or to win a tournament, or even to shoot your lowest score, which of these 5 putts would you choose and why? And everyone's going to choose that one because it's the easiest, it's the closest, it requires the least amount of thought, requires the smallest, simplest movement to get it in the hole. And that's the thought that I want you to carry with us today as we go through this chipping experiment, or this chipping lesson. Is what is the easiest way that we can get our golf ball to go to the target that we want when we're chipping? And I'll use a quick comparison here, and then we'll get into it. So I remember as a kid, one of the favorite gifts that I would get, and it always seemed to coincide with the start of the school year, was a box of crayons. And those crayons would be multicolored. It could be 24, it could be 64. I think there's one time that my brother and I, or my sister and I, we shared one, and it was over 100 different colors, and it was fantastic. And you take a coloring book and you let your imagination go wild, and you start with the red one and then change to the green one and then the blue one, and you just color in this amazing picture at the end of it, and you can look back and say, hey, that's pretty cool. I colored this thing using all these different crayons. Well, that's as far as my art experience or my art talent went or developed. Fast forward many years, and now our oldest daughter, our oldest child, is getting into art, and she's getting really good at art. And she only uses 5 colors. The primary colors, white and black, and from those she can make any color that she wants. Right, so what does this have to do with what we're going to do today? Well, for most of us, when it comes to our golf skill, we're on the level of me as a kid creating a piece of art, having to change crayon colors if I wanted to change the color. Very few of us are to the point where if we need to do something around the green or create a shot, where we can, like my oldest child can, mix colors and be creative and come up with different solutions using a very few or a very finite number of resources. Right? So what we're going to do today is we're going to go, and I'm going to demonstrate a very simple chipping motion, and we're going to use different golf clubs with the same motion to get a different result. Rather than trying to use one golf club to get 3 or 4 different results or multiple different results, we're just going to learn one skill and apply it over multiple different situations using different golf clubs. So I've got my 52-degree wedge, and this will be the first crayon that we're going to be practicing, if you want to think about it that way. Just to kind of review some of the basics of chipping. If you're making a full swing, you might be over here. Chipping, you're going to be a little closer, feet a little closer together. Ball position is definitely going to be closer to my back foot, and the handle is going to be leaning a little more forward. And then we're just going to make a very small swing where the club head has to slide under the golf ball, and the follow through has to match the shot that you're about to play. And I've got 52, and then you can see I've got 3 other clubs down on the ground there in front of me, a pitching wedge, an 8-iron, and a 5-iron. And we're going to try and learn the same swing and just change crayons so that we get different results. So let's try it out with the 52. And we'll just put a few onto the green, and then I'm going to change camera angles here, and then we can see what different results that we get with different clubs. But all I'm doing is, compared to a full swing shot, I stand a little closer, the ball goes back towards my big foot, my big toe of my right foot, not my big foot, and then this is just a very small shoulder tilt that gets the ball going. All right, so that length of swing right there, I'm going to try and keep that the same for every shot, every club, and we're going to see the difference in the results. So looking at it now from down the target line, I do have two flags out there, a red one and then a green and white checkered one down there, but I'm not aiming at any target or flag right now. I'm just going to aim to the right of that where there's more space, because all I'm really interested in is learning a little bit about what changes between one club to the next when I make a swing that's just like that. So I'm going to chip a few out there. Ball positions towards my back foot. My weight and the shaft lean forward, and then it's just like a teeter-totter with my shoulders to get the ball out there. And we'll do a few so I get a bit of a baseline. All right. Now I'm going to change to the next most lofted club that I brought out here, which is my pitching wedge. And I'm going to try and make the same length swing. And we're just going to note the difference of how the ball reacts. And from there, we're going to switch to the 8-iron. And we're going to do the same thing. We're going to try the same swing, so it'll be like the same distance back and the same distance through. And what we're going to try and do is keep the swing the same and just see what's different with the result. Do a few of these. Ball goes back. Body weight and shaft goes forward. Teeter-totter the shoulders. So by making a very small swing, I keep it simple. It's like that small putt that I showed you earlier. That easy one that's just a few inches away. By keeping the swing easy or simple and changing clubs, we can get different results without having to get complicated. All right, and now let's look at, now I've got my 5-iron, and we're going to do the same thing, and then we'll go and take a look at what was different. So same stance, same setup, balls towards my back foot, shaft and weight go forward. We're just going to teeter-totter the shoulders with the same length swing. it's always a good practice to get in the habit of watching every shot that you hit. A little off the heel on that one, but not too bad. Couple more with the 5-iron. Got a collision out there in the green. And one more. All right, so 52 pitching wedge, 8-iron, 5-iron. Let's go see if we can identify what just happened. So this first grouping of golf balls, this is with my 52-degree wedge. This next one over here, pitching wedge. We actually had a collision over here. That's what it is. I think I tried to chip 5 of each. So one of these should have been up over there. So we got 52 pitching wedge, 8-iron, and 5-iron. Right, and then we started all the way back over there somewhere. So 5-iron walking backwards, 8-iron, pitching wedge, and 52-degree wedge. So I have 4 clubs, 4 distances, 4 crayons, 4 colors, trying to keep that little chip shot swing as simple as possible, but getting me 4 distinct results. So what I did here is, this is where we're starting from, and then we're walking out here. So let me just take, I'm going to take steps 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. That is the average of my 52 degrees. 12, 13, 14, 15. That's the average of my pitching wedge. 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, and a little bit. That's the 8-iron. 22, 23, 24, 25, 26. Now, I am coming uphill just a little bit, and that might have had a little influence on some of how these balls, these 2 later ones, rolled. But you'll notice that there's a definite difference between the average from my 5-iron going down to 8-iron, going down to pitching wedge, and then to 52, starting from that pile of balls right there. So I've got this red flag over here, and I've got a ball right there, which is my pitching wedge ball. So if I was to go back and chip now from my starting point over here, I can take my 52, but I'm going to have to make a bigger swing to get my 52 to go to the hole, or I can take my pitching wedge and make that same swing, and my distance is going to be almost exactly right there. And so this is just an approach to chipping for you to consider. I'll do other videos where we take one club, maybe like a 52 or a 56 or something, and we play shots from all around the green to the same target, because there's definitely value in understanding how one club can give you multiple results. But for most of us who are just trying to shoot under 100, under 90, maybe trying to get under 80, an approach like I'm just demonstrating here, this is going to be good for you. All right, so I'm going to take my pitching wedge, and I'm going to chip these balls from where they are here to that red flag, and then I'm going to see what the results are like, because now that's my target, and I know that that distance from the target to my average is my pitching wedge distance. All right, so there's my grouping around my target. And then as far as in relation to my baseline, that's where it was. So the average is still about the average. And all of those putts are relatively close to where I need to be. Now, if I wanted to, I could take this one that's the furthest away and step it off. So it'd be 1, 2, 3. And when I go to the putting green, I'd practice 3-step putts to improve my make percentage or the likelihood that I can get up and down. Or if I wanted to do a ladder drill, I could do one from 3 steps, one from 2 steps, and one from 1 step. That way I'm covering the entire radius or the entire grouping of golf balls over here in my putting practice.